Our LV Game of the Week took us to Somerset for the visit of Worcestershire, who celebrated the wicket of Johan Myburgh as early as the fourth over. This after the visitors had won the toss and decided to have a bowl, something Jack Shantry was obviously happy with. These are two of four sides, along with Sussex and Hampshire, who are trying to avoid the drop into the second tier of the LV County Championship. The home team have shown some improvement in recent times, and their game in hand on the other three teams beneath them in the table may yet turn out to be crucial. This, though, was a match that they could ill afford to lose, and it was now down to Marcus Trescothick and Tom Cooper to see their side through the tricky new ball period. On getting to 20, Trescothick reached 23,000 runs in his remarkable first-class career. 40 on Christmas Day, this was the Somerset skipper's 585th first-class innings in a career spanning 23 seasons. He's also played for his country 202 times in all formats, including 76 test matches. He has been missing from the team in the One Day Cup this year and looked keen to get back to what he does best, as he and Cooper, who struggled in red ball cricket in his first season in the Championship, looked to press on, the two rarely missing out on anything to hit as they took the total up to 112 for the loss of Myburgh for a duck. Both of these batsmen headed to the break with 50s to their names. Trescothick was raising his bat first after reaching his half-century of 94 deliveries, from which he'd found the boundary 10 times. It was the 117th 50 of his first-class career, and he's also struck 5600s. His new spectacles were clearly working. Cooper was at his 50 next ball, his being completed with his 9th boundary off his 71st delivery. Given the overhead conditions, it was pigeon-chested grey for much of the day. Somerset would have been delighted with their start after being put in by Daryl Mitchell. The home crowd would have enjoyed this moment as Alex Gidman missed a simple enough opportunity at slip to give Trescothick a life. Gidman, of course, well known in these parts after spending such a long time up the M5 at Gloucestershire. Gidman was soon able to put that behind him, however, as only 3 balls into the afternoon session, this stand was ended on 108, Cooper edging Joe Leach to Gidman in the slips after making 57. It was just the start to the session that the visitors would have been hoping for. But they would have wanted one to lead to 2 and more. That was not to happen. Only Johnny Bairstow had more runs in the first division of the Championship this summer than James Hildreth at the start of this day, and the Somerset man was soon doing what he's been doing for much of this summer, and that's putting bat to ball. He wasted no time at all in finding the fence, as he ensured that the hard work of Trescothick and Cooper was not going to go to waste. Somerset began this contest 8 points ahead of Worcestershire in the table and 10 clear of the bottom 2. Only 13 points separated the bottom 4 at the start of this round of games, and so every point from here is going to be crucial. After watching Hildreth play with a lot of freedom first thing, Trescothick too began to play some more shots, reminding a decent crowd in Taunton of what he's been producing for so many years now for both club and country. Hildreth was at his 7th 50 of the Championship summer, just one he'd previously converted into 100. That was his 10th 4, which took into his mark of only 63 deliveries. He also had his side at 200 with only 2 men out. It was all going along rather nicely for the home team. Mitchell decided to chuck the ball to Brett D'Oliveira for a few overs before tea, and in his 3rd of them he got one around Trescothick's sweep shot to send him on his way for a hard-working 85, an innings which had lasted more than 3.5 hours and used up 175 balls. Tea soon arrived with Somerset on 228 for 3, and it looked as if this had been a good toss to lose after all. Myburgh aside, all the home batsmen made a start and all made the most of that too. Hildreth had now been joined by Jim Allenby, and these two simply picked up from what had been going on for much of this day. Worcestershire have shown a lot of fighting qualities this summer as they tried to avoid an immediate return to the second division after promotion last year with Hampshire, but on this occasion they found very little in the pitch to help their bowlers, none of whom threatened too many times throughout what was a tough day for them. Syed Ajmal created little, and it was a single off him that took Hildreth to his second 100 of the summer in the Championship and the 34th of his first-class career. He has to be one of the best batsmen on the circuit to have never represented England in any format. He'd passed 13,000 runs in first-class cricket alone during this innings. His latest ton had occupied 143 balls, from which he'd found the boundary 17 times. And on he went in partnership with Allenby, these two simply confirming that day one of this hugely significant cricket match was very much going to belong to the hosts. These two were making sure that their side were going to end the day in a dominant position from where they could boss this game for the remainder. That's if the forecast bad weather misses this part of the world over the weekend. Allenby had just completed his 50 when he nicked off to Chantry, who now had 49 Championship wickets this summer. His side have very rarely missed out on maximum bowling points over the last few seasons, but in spite of this much needed wicket, that may happen here. Allenby and Hildreth had added 122 runs for the fourth wicket, but the next partnership put on only 13. Jack Leach's time as a night watchman lasting 16 balls before he was bowled by his namesake for his 52nd wicket of the Championship campaign. Some effort from a bowler few would have expected to do so well this year. Hildreth and Peter Trigo then saw out the remaining 10 deliveries, the former ending the day unbeaten on 133 and now needing only 14 more runs to become the first batsman to make it to 1,000 Championship runs in First Division cricket this year. Somerset will resume on the second morning on 349 for 5.